Greetings and salamanders, fellow bat people. It's probably the worst introduction I've ever done in my entire fucking life, but let's roll with it. I'd like to start by immediately apologizing for the poor mic quality. My Blue Yeti that served me faithfully for over 10 years finally crapped out on me. And I do have a Astro Gamer headset that has a mic on it that's somewhat decent quality, but the cord on that got yanked when I was getting up from a table once, and now it doesn't work right. And them cords are very flimsy. I went through a couple of them, and I get the feeling they make them like that on purpose because they sell replacements on the website. And I wish you could get a braided one. Like, if you don't know what a braided cord is, just look it up. You've probably used them in your life. And I really love braided cords because what you lack, what you sacrifice in flexibility, you make up for in durability. Just my opinion. Anyway, we're here with what I consider to be one of the hardest trophies I've ever gotten in my entire fucking life. And that is the community trophy to get to 1,000,000 points and fight Killer Croc. Now I want to give you some tips for this. And there's other tips online. You know, you can. I read so many threads. This took me like 8 months to get this trophy. Not 8 months of playing every day, obviously. The first tip I'd like to give is do not attack the medics. Whatever you do, don't attack the medics. Now, you're going to hit one every now and then by accident. That's just like I just did just then. That's just the nature of the beast. That's the way Arkham Combat works. Sometimes you hit things you don't want to. But the thing is, the medics revive people. And as long as the medics are reviving people, stronger enemies aren't going to spawn. Now, there's some contention on that online. A lot of people have disagreements on what causes stronger enemies to spawn. If it's how many enemies you've beat, how long it's passed, how much time has passed, what your score is, what your multiplier is. I know it's not time because I tested it running around the arena for like 10 minutes and then beat a couple guys and no one stronger spawned, so I know it's not time. But I have noticed that guys with batons and stuff, like stun batons, tend to show up when I get around like 80 in my combo. So the next tip, anytime a guy gets electrified, use your Bat Claw Slam, L2 plus triangle. I'll be using PlayStation terminology here. And then followed by a square for an attack. My next tip is do not use takedowns no matter what. Do not use any takedowns ever. And the reason for that is, one, it kills an enemy immediately and you want to keep enemies alive for reasons I outlined earlier. But also, it gets rid of your yellow bar. As you hit enemies, you fill up that yellow bar to the side. And what you may have noticed while playing the game is that when that bar is filled, if you do a critical strike, which is basically perfectly timing your attack to right after your last attack hit, which the window for that is super generous, it will raise your combo by 3 instead of 2, and that adds up. Now, I do break that rule for 2 things. Search and destroy on stun batons and on shields. Now, yes, you can't. There are ways to knock shields out of people's hands. Do the back cape stun and then jump slam them. And the stun batons, for some people might not know this, but you can actually knock those guys down using the REC gun. But the weapons still stay in effect, and then 2 seconds later another guy picks it up. And like I've said, with the nature of Arkham Combat, it's really annoying because the number of times that I've been in a good flow, there was one time I was like at 800,000 points, so close to getting it, and then I go to punch a guy and for whatever reason, he decides to leap across the entire fucking map to punch a guy with a shield and make me lose my combo. Now, as you may have noticed, I just lost my combo just a moment ago, but that's fine because I got to the 1,000,000 points. And I was actually freaking out at this point because I was like, why isn't he spawning? Why isn't it doing the thing that it's supposed to do to get the fucking trophy that I want to fucking get? But don't worry about that. Once you get to 1,000,000, you just have to beat what enemies are left. Enemies stop spawning. You'll notice that no one else is spawning now that I'm beating enemies. And you notice that I was able to get to this point without the big brutes spawning and just barely to the point where shield guys spawned. I mean, not shield guys, sword guys, and not even like the tactical sword guys that are stronger. And I think that if you're good enough, you can get to it even before the tactical sword guys spawn. Now this battle is easy if you've done the DLC. You'll notice I kind of flounder a bit because it had been so long since I did the DLC battle against him. I couldn't remember exactly how the fuck to do it. But basically you attack other enemies until that circle bar gets up, and then you can use that to do a little punchy do on him. Like I said, this is one of the hardest trophies I've ever done, and it took me like 8 months. Actually, I can actually tell you exactly how long it took me, and I'll put that on the screen right now. If you look at the screen, you'll see a number. The way I can tell that is after I got the platinum for this game, the very next thing I did was I moved on to trying out these community challenges, which that's what this trophy is. It's from the community challenge pack where the community came together and came up with a bunch of challenges, which this was the hardest one by far. Like, I barely had any trouble with the other ones. I think the only other one I had trouble with that took me like maybe a couple days of trying was the one where you have to beat the Crime Alley level as a few characters, but other than that, it's been nothing. Yeah. So yeah, all you gotta do is beat him. I don't actually remember if the trophy popped when he came in or if it was after I beat him. I want to think it was after I beat him, because otherwise, why would I have? Because I remember panicking because I couldn't remember how to fight him. So otherwise, why would I have panicked? But yeah, that's the general tips. One thing you can do is you can use the disruptor gun on the gun crates, and then when a guy tries to open it, it'll shock him and knock him out. Problem is, it takes time to aim the gun, and once one guy gets shocked, the next one can get a gun out, so it's not really worth it. I just try to listen to the beeps and knock them out before they get one. But yeah, that's about it. And then this is the ending of his fight, where you just punch, and then do dodges when the thing comes up. And don't get me wrong, I don't really have a problem with this trophy. I've always thought that this is what trophies should be. I've always thought trophies should be, and I think in the beginning maybe this was the idea, but I've always felt that trophies should be like really hard, like a fucking trophy, something you'd want to display on your mantelpiece. Do you want to display on your mantelpiece beat chapter 1, finish tutorial? Like a token trophy for like beating the game, that's fine, but like I love trophies that are just insane, like really, really hard to get. I don't chase them that much, but I do think that they have value, and anyone that wants to complain, and like that's like the height of entitlement, is to complain that trophies are too hard to get and you want to get that 100%. Um, the only area where I'll agree is multiplayer trophies for games that have disconnected servers shouldn't count. And Sony really needs to fucking do something about that. That it's ridiculous that there's games out there that you cannot platinum because they had multiplayer trophies. And if the game was like a live service game, like an online only game, like some of the Call of Duty games are only online, that's different. But like like having a trophy where like there's like one, like, or having a game where there's like one trophy that you can't get because you have to do something online and the servers are down and you can never do it. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, I kept going to see how far I could make it. This was after a few hours worth of trying for that day, so I was exhausted. Maybe if I hadn't been exhausted, I would have been able to get it going a bit more. If you managed to beat my score, let me know. If you got any comments of any other tips that I didn't list, let me know. Um, I didn't give any tips for the sword guys because you should not have them spawn. Like for me, they only spawn near the end. Um, if they're giving you trouble, you can maybe use a takedown on them. Knife guys, I don't use search and destroy on them for the simple fact that I actually see the knives as a good thing because as soon as I see that orange knife thing, I immediately hold away and triangle, which is how you do the knife dodge. And for the entire animation of that, you are invulnerable. You have iframes, and that is a perfect chance to catch your bearings and get a look at the surroundings. So I actually kind of see the knife guys as kind of a net positive. But anyway, thank you for checking this out. I hope it helped. Leave a comment if any of my advice did help. And that'll do it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.